go there at least 3 times. Give it 3 times unless it's truly horrible, because people are coming and going. So I hope you like the leader. That's really helpful. And if you like some of the people, keep going back. If you don't like all the people, don't pay attention to them. But get yourself out of the house to do something that makes you feel needed, makes you feel important, gives you something to look forward to, and makes you feel like you're giving something that now you're getting back. It is imperative for your Y chromosome, for your testosterone. It'll help you be more healthy. So getting involved in activities, taking a class, volunteering. That's the ways that you get out of the house. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Chrissy.
So the other balance, so I think it's like having a balanced diet. I need you to go do stuff, I stress, do stuff outside, and online dating. Online dating is a really wonderful, that's how I met my late husband. It's a great, viable, there's some real specific rules that'll keep you safe and help you not get discouraged and get frustrated and give up. Because, yes, everybody wants to know what's the site that only has my people and no scammers. Well, there's none. There's none. And every site has, so if you, I was telling somebody this yesterday. Let's pretend there's 100,000 people, because there's more than that, on this site. And 10% of them are scammers. And 10% of them are people that just want to take advantage of you for your money. That's a lot of people if it's 100,000 people and it's still 20%. But 80% is a lot more people that aren't trying to take advantage of you. We're all just not knowing what to do, and we're stumbling around, and we don't understand how to date. Nobody knows instinctually how to date now, which is why I'm teaching it. Every single thing that you've done in your life, your job, a hobby that you have, a sport that you've played, anything, you had to learn. You had to learn. Even if you had a gift, Olympic athletes have a trainer every single day for 8 hours, and they're at the top of their game. So if you remember anything you've learned how to do, drive a car, use a computer, use your phone, do your job, get degrees, have letters after your name, you learned it was okay with you to learn. Letting you off the hook. Nobody just knows how to date. So learning how to date is a really important skill. And you'll feel really accomplished and really good at it. And you'll feel much better at it, and you'll forgive yourself when you don't. So I like online dating a lot. My suggestion is to find a site that feels the most comfortable to you. If you have a special interest or a belief, like if it's Christian or Jewish, or you want to be with people that are into dogs, or people that are really much more athletic, or people that are less athletic, there are sites specifically for that. The really big sites like Match.com and OkCupid and Facebook dating have a bigger variety of people. I'm a big fan of those three, Match and OkCupid and Facebook, but they're really different. All three of those couldn't be more different. So you go and you can join for a month, or you can, sometimes they have specials, like Memorial Weekend, they'll probably have specials again, where you can go try it out for a week and see how it feels navigating. Because one of the things you men have taught me really well is you like being really good at stuff right away, and especially if you're going to do it in front of us, which is why I like to practice with my male clients, so we do lots of dialoguing. So see which one feels the easiest navigating. Match.com gives you more control over where you're looking. OkCupid gives you more of questions to answer that see how you match up percentage-wise. And Facebook dating is the one that so far pays more attention to your geographical boundaries that you put up. So I coach on I have clients that have met somebody on everyone that's out there. Oh, eHarmony didn't work for me. I think I remember telling you, I tried it both times I was single. Haven't gone back this time because it's not working it never works for me. But I have lots of clients that have great stories that we put them on eHarmony and it works for them. So
how many should you be on, would you say? What would you recommend? How many?
I'd say 2, because you really need to limit the amount of time you're spending. So set a time, half an hour, no more than an hour a day. You write to the people that you're interested in, and if somebody's written back to you, you write to them. And the whole dialogue thing is very, very important because everybody would rather somebody say something than just give them a like. And women, if you ask 10 women what kind of communication they want, you'll get 10 different responses, which is why I teach you to who are you and what makes you tick and what kind of a person would you like. And then we're going to find the people that respond to that. Because if you write to everybody, which is fine, and a bunch of people don't write back, they're not your people. Now, there is a skill to writing, and I teach you how to write, but even when you're writing the perfectly way for you, the it's going to be narrowed to the people that are your people. But don't you just want to talk to your people? You don't want to have a big waste of people that aren't your people.
Question,
So that,
question,
yeah,
question. I noticed on Match, there are a lot of folks out there, ladies, that have a pretty good profile, have a lot of information and multiple pictures and things like that. And then there's a lot that have one picture and their height, and that's
right.
it.
Oh, mhm.
Are those bots?
Probably.
Okay.
And if they haven't said enough to interest you,
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
Yes. And now that AI is out there, one of the really sad things, even real people are wanting to use AI to write their profile. I've been writing profiles since 2001, so I'm really good at it. But I said you can use AI as a suggestion. Put in the kinds of things, see what it says, and then you have to change it into your words. Because eventually you're going to be talking to this person and you're not going to talk like AI. You're going to talk like you. But if you want it as a little kickstart, it's perfectly fine. But never send out just exactly what it said. So you'll see the ones that it's too good to be true. And one of the things I've learned, because my brother has had a software company for over 40 years, they're dumbing it down so it looks more like real people. Is that so sad? It did make me laugh when he said that. So use it, but I'm really good. I mean, if you want to use your free call for that, for have me look over your profile and write it for you and give you suggestions about pictures. I'm sure none of you have done this, but I feel obligated to say this when I have a screen full of men. It's often really tempting to take a picture in the bathroom mirror because you've spiffed yourself up. You're looking at how you look. And what happens is you generally have a serious face because you're concentrating on what you're doing, and the shower curtain's crooked and the towel's hanging over and there's spots on the mirror and the toilet seat's up, and every woman will look at that picture and not see you. They'll see all the things that they think are wrong. So please don't take bathroom pictures even when it's tempting, okay? I know it's really tempting. Have a friend take your picture. Include pictures of things that you like. If you're a sports person, have a picture of that. If you're um, a travel person, have pictures of that. Put a little caption about what it is. And in your profile, the way that you write a profile is you're writing a story about who you are and who you're looking for. That was what it finally came to. My husband went, "Oh my gosh, I am all those things she said she's looking for." And then he read, "Oh, and she's the things that I'm looking for," because I told a story. So, not a list, and never, ever, ever include what you don't want. Ever. What would you like instead? If you care who they voted for, tell them you like people who voted for them. Don't say if you did blah blah. Don't write. It makes you look like a negative person for the most positive person that's going to read your profile. So know what you don't want in there at all. Right? Promise. I need to have a pledge from everybody about that because I read profiles all the time. I go through them with my clients. I teach them how to write to people. We all look at the profiles going, they need me. I need to help them write this profile better because they sound like lovely people, but they haven't portrayed that very well at all. Yeah. So for the people that are dating, to, to find people to date, my, a lot of work. Good. Working on yourself is really important. And I love when people tell me that. And I won't ask that now, but will then say, tell me what you did. Because lots of women, the kind of work they done didn't make them like men any better, which is really sad because I think that's part of the work they really need to be doing. What they do is they get more independent, and that's what you guys keep hearing. I'm so independent. I don't need a guy. I maybe want a guy. I'm really clear about why I need a guy. I liked having a husband a lot, and I have lots of reasons that I liked having a husband. And I'm a super independent, very self-sufficient person, but there's a whole bunch of things that he did that I didn't want to do, and that he did that I never want to do, and he liked doing them. So watch out for the I don't think I need a man, because I want women that know you guys have a really important place in our life. So working on yourself is really important. And for the people that are in new grief, the other place I'm going to send you is soaringspirits.org. It's got a lot of resources like the site that you're on now, but it also has meetups. So if you click on regional and you click on meetup and you put in your zip code, they're having more and more. I have one here. They've been going for 10 years. We meet twice a month. It's a big widow group. There's about 35 of us that meet twice a month. You'll find people, and it's people come and they go, did I have to stand up and say it? No. You come, you sit with somebody who's been grieving a little longer than you. Well, you want to tell your story, you don't want to tell your story, you get to have dinner. And for men, I found it's about a third, a little bit more men that come. They're so happy to have people to have dinner with because they miss having dinner with a spouse. And some of them have gotten together where they cook in between at each other's houses because a couple of guys have really great kitchens. So it gives you a place to go once or twice a month where you don't have to keep explaining if you don't want, if you have a tender moment, and you're sitting in a group of people who get it. And then there's subgroups where they go to the movies, we've gone wine tasting, people who have guns have gone shooting. So it's just another resource to get you out, to be in a group of people that you don't have to explain one thing to them because they're all widowed people, some of them more than once. So you can hear I keep saying how important it is to have your life feel a little fuller soon. So then when you're meeting people and you're wanting to ask them out, you have interesting things to say to them and interesting things to ask. So the basis of my coaching when I start working with people is to figure out what are the top 3 things you have to have from this person. They have to have a passport that they're on their second one because they travel so much, or they have to be of the same religion, or they have to be of the same political belief, or they have to have a college degree, or they have to have a bunch of life experience, or they have to really like kids, or they have to have no kids. 3. Only 3. I mean, I want you to have a big, huge list, but pick the top 3 things you have to have. You cannot be with somebody that doesn't have at least 2. Can't. No matter how beautiful they are, no matter how sexy they are, no matter how much chemistry you have, they have to have. Everybody's got at least 3 have to haves. And the other thing I'm going to tell you out loud might be the same as your wife, could be, and might be different. And it's not disloyal because I was only married 5 years when my husband died, but most of the people I talked to were married 20, 30, 40, 50 years. So from when you got married, all the life experiences you've had, you're chronologically a bunch of years older with lots of experience, first. And second, you've now lost the love of your life. You're a very different person now. So you might want a different person now. And it's not disloyal. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm now having to look for a car. I'm having to get rid of the car that my husband bought for me in 2011, and it's really hard. I hate looking for cars in the first place, but I want a really different car now because it's been since 2011. So I give you permission to one of these or 2 of these 3 things to be different than what your wife was. It's okay. It's not bad. And it can be a struggle for some people to go, but I really think I'd want this. But if you want all the same things, you were so still the same, then do those. And what are the top 3 things that they have to really like about you? They have to be really into this about you because that's the basis of your first conversation. You need to find out, do they have these three things and do they like these three things? Because there's no point in going on if this isn't here. Can you see? Right? No point. And isn't it helpful to find out right away? Now, what I suggest to people, and we practice a lot, is you come up with, I'm so curious, fill in the blank. Because generally, we really need to get to know another person and learn about them. And often, our very first meeting, whether it's we've met in a group or we've set up a meeting on the phone with somebody we met online, or we're now going to meet them for coffee or a walk or a meal, we think we need to really like them. And what's the point if we don't like them? And for men, you need to be physically attracted. The manufacturer installation put that in there so the species would continue back from cave time. And that's a given. You know that right away. You know that right away. If you like how she looks, if you like how you feel there with how she looks. So generally, that's not going to be one of the three. So my goal is to have people go and say, what am I going to learn about me with every time I'm with new people, whether it's a group of people or one person? What am I going to learn about me? What did I feel prepared? What did I feel comfortable about? What was really uncomfortable? And I'm going to work on how to not be that uncomfortable next time. Was I prepared to talk about myself? Was I prepared to have my questions? What did I learn about me when I was sitting there? Not to be judgmental or give yourself a time. As I talked about earlier, when you learned anything, nobody's good at everything right away. Nobody. You had to keep learning. That's what this is. This is a learning curve. So that's an attainable money back guarantee. If you go saying, I'm going to learn about me, you will absolutely leave having learned something about yourself. The next thing is go with the goal of just learning about another person, not whether or not you want to have breakfast across the table with them forever. Just learning. Wow, look what they do in their life. I never thought about that. What do I think about that? Or I would never do that. But interesting. Why do they do that thing that you would never do? You're sitting there anyway. Find out about them.
Christine, can I ask a question at this point? Just to back
Always.
up.
Always.
You suggested that we should know what the top three things that they would be looking for.
No.
I thought you said that. You said what we need and then also what they would be looking for.
What you need for somebody to be for you,
Right.
and what you are already. You will never know what they're looking for, but you need to say, I am somebody that brings a lot of stuff when I travel. What do you think about that?
Okay. That's a little different than what I understood. So
I'm so glad you asked, because I would not mean to say it the other way. And I'm so glad you had me clear, because
I was trying to figure out how I would find that out.
You're so right. And I am so happy that you asked me, because it was not my intention at all. And I so appreciate you making sure I clarified that. Yes, it's all about you while you're sitting there. How are you doing with this? Are you feeling like you can share who you are? You can tell these three things about you, and you can ask these three things about them, with the goal of, do you want to spend more time with them after this meeting? But if you go with, what am I going to learn about me while I'm sitting there? What am I just going to learn about a new person while I'm sitting there? And you go really clear with that, and you have these at least three things that you need to cover in the conversation with everything else you can talk about. You will now know, yes or no, that you want to spend more time with them. Effortlessly. Effortlessly. And you need to go, this is the really hard part, especially when you were in love and you were probably, most people, not all, were still madly in love and you wish they were sitting here on the couch with you. It's hard when people say they're in a better place. I go, no, next to me on the couch would be a better place. That you want to be in love again. You want to have somebody to protect and provide again. It's a need. That you can't go with that as a goal with your meeting, that this is going to be my person, as tempting as it is. So my advice is to have an emotional investment of 0. even if they're beautiful, even if they're your type, even if you had a 2.5 hour conversation on the phone and you've never had that happen before. Until you're sitting in front of them and you've covered at least these 6 things, you need to keep your teenager below the neck and only deal with yourself above the neck. Because we get really excited. And then we go to a 35 and we don't know anything about them to deserve a 35. We need to guard our precious heart. It's our job. People tell me, not as many men, more women, but some men, I wear my heart on my sleeve. Well, whoever put us together did not do it that way. They put it way inside your chest behind big, huge rib cage. Please leave it there until somebody deserves. Your late spouse deserved access to your heart. This new stranger, they don't. They might someday, but not right now. So an emotional 0 until you've learned about you, you've learned about them, and then you say, I'd like to spend more time with them. They get to be a 1. Your emotional investment needs to only be a 1, even if it was wonderful. You still, how much can you know? You really don't know. And then the
Christine,
next thing, say it again.
I'm sorry, you've confused me again.
Sure.
You said the 3 things that we need to know about them.
And the
Did
3
you
things
not?
you have to tell them about you.
Okay. And you said 6 things.
So 3 that you want to know about them, 3 things you want them to know about you.
So how do I know the 3 things about them?
You'll so so I would tell you, Tom, when I
Yes.
travel, and I've had lots of people take me traveling, you have no idea. I have a picture on my phone of how much stuff I schlepped through an airport. And I would show you the picture and I go, what do you think of that? And I've had men go, oh my God. I don't think we could travel together. If you feel, oh my God, I can't imagine. Why would you bring so much stuff? Oh, that's just, I can't, that would be wrong for me. And I only carry on. I have only a carry-on thing and I have a backpack. I'm not sure we could ever travel together. And so that would be a really good thing for me to tell you about me. And you would now tell me about you going, that's not my thing. I've gone out with hundreds of men. And when I tell them about the door thing, they've all gone, okay. I had one guy say no. He explained to me all these reasons why no, he was never going to open my door. That wasn't the only reason, but it was part of the reason we didn't date anymore. Because it's a big thing to me. I feel protected. I feel important. I've had it my whole life. My dad did it. I like it a lot. And I've never had anybody turn me down in all the hundreds of men I've dated. So when you say, I like this kind of thing. I like getting up and running at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm looking for somebody that would want to do that with me. If I was sitting across the street, I go, oh, that's so not me. But if you went running and came back and wanted to take a shower with me and we could make love and then have breakfast, is that an option? And you'd say, no, I want somebody that runs with me. I go, I'm not your gal. I would never get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go running. If you're looking for somebody like that and that's a real big thing to you, I'm not your gal. So you can
Okay.
see how that conversation goes.
Yeah. So to just summarize it then, you tell someone about your best things you like and see how they react. And that tells you something about them.
Yes. And then if you said, I really like traveling, I've been to 47 countries, tell me your thoughts about traveling. And they
Right.
say, oh my God, let's see if we've been to the same place, or oh my, I would never go anywhere. I can't go in a car. I'm afraid to fly.
Okay. Thank you.
So it becomes a conversation because our intention is never have it to be an interview or interrogation. So, and as the more you do it, the more you practice saying, this is who I am. I spend every weekend going to my grandkids' ball games. It's really important to me. And I'm okay if somebody doesn't want to go. I just need them to know this is what I do. But would you like to go? Or if it really is important to me that I have somebody that goes with me, you say your truth.
A question. You made a comment about don't come across as interrogating.
Yeah.
And I'm very cognizant of that. And so what I've done a couple of times is I ask a lot of questions because I'm very curious, and that's how you get to know somebody. But I also ask who I'm talking to, I hope you don't mind that I'm asking these questions. And almost all the time they say, oh, no problem. But it is something to be careful of. Yeah.
Yes. Always, if you can start out with a lot, I'm so curious. We who doesn't want somebody that's interested, even if you're not each other's people, that they're interested in getting to know me? I'm so curious about your business. I'm so curious that you've lived in California your whole life. I'm so curious, how have you done, since your husband died? I mean, to have somebody be curious about me and my life, I'm gonna tell you, that floats our boat, us lady people. We like being asked questions a lot, as long as you do it that way. I'm interested in getting to know more about you. You really are ticking away. Does this fit me? Could I be with somebody like this? But you're not putting the question that way. You're putting it in because I want you to truly be interested in this. I have never had a boring first date, and I've had a number of people I didn't want to see a second time after we had our not boring because they were doing all sorts of interesting things that were not me, but they were really interesting because I came interested in learning about another person. That was my goal. How do I keep being comfortable being me sitting here with a stranger? How do I learn about another stranger and what the heck's going on in their life and what's important to them? I'm fascinated the whole time. The whole time I'm there because I go with that attitude. And I think they feel that because I genuinely am interested in them first. And then second, do I want to spend more time with them? But that's second. Usually people approach a first meeting with, are they the person I want to have breakfast with forever? Because I get it. You all say, I really want to be in a relationship, but I really don't want to go through this whole dating thing. Well, that's the only way. That's the route to get there. So if you're going to need to do this thing, try to make it as most enjoyable as possible. That's my goal. What I hear from people often when they come to me first, they'll say, oh, it's so much work and it's hard and this. But a couple weeks later, they go, oh my God, it's fun. I go, because I needed to make dating fun for me. And it turns out I can make it fun for other people. If you go on purpose to be interested, even if they're a total jerk, wow, aren't I glad I don't go home to that? Or gosh, isn't it interesting? Who were they raised by? Or why do they act like that? Or they just have a bad day? I'm fascinated with the human world, which is why I've been studying this for over 40 years, not even knowing I was going to be a coach. Because I find human beings really, my sister and I always go, did you see what the earthlings were doing today? We compare notes about people doing. So if you approach dating, can you imagine? It would be way more fun. And if you're in a group of people, who are all these earthlings and what in the heck's going on with them? Fresh. Tend to have a little guilt. The guilt. I get it. Most people feel a little guilty in the beginning. So here's my advice. And I never can remember the name, and maybe one of you, of Chris or Herb, could look this up. There's this in the United States, when something precious breaks, like porcelain or china, we want it to be fixed perfectly so you can't even see the break. In Japan, they have a process where they take melted gold, real gold, and they take the place that's the piece is broken and they put gold here, and then they put the piece back together. So you see it's repaired, but you see the break, and it's very honored. And I suggest to all widowed people, and it's really helped, take your spouse because your heart is broken. When you lose the love of your life, there's no way your heart isn't broken. So you put your spouse in that broken spot and you seal it up with gold, 24 karat, most precious gold. And so that little part of your heart will always stay there. It'll never get less. It'll never get touched. It'll never get harmed. It will live there forever. And what it's now done is freed the rest of your great big heart to fall in love again. So it will never be less. And you need to find somebody that knows you will never not love your spouse. You'll always have tender days. I've had so many people get some widowed people to each other, but every once in a while there's somebody that's not widowed, that they still put the special dates, the birthday, the wedding anniversary, and the angelversary. And you might have others. And they get it on the calendar. They go, I know you're going to have a hard day, Is or something. 20 years later, 20 years later, it's okay to still have special days. I have special days. I can tell you how much I've cried over having to get a car without my husband to help me. It's really a drag. I need somebody to come help me get a car because I hate this part. So seal your heart. I've had people order whatever did you put it there? Thank you. Because it's this really cool name that starts with a K and I constantly pronounce it wrong. But you can
Kintsugi.
look online. Thank you. And people have ordered, for especially people that aren't widowed, they show them that. I've had two widows marry that he was having his guilt thing and she wasn't. So she got him a bowl and he got to put some of his wife's ashes in it. And it really helped him stop feeling guilty. That's my best suggestion. And it seems to work most of the time. People have really been able to fall in love again. Yeah, most people in our age group come to me and they don't say they want to get married, but they really want to be in a long-term happy relationship. Usually the financial part, it doesn't make sense. But I've had 4 people come to me that said they wanted to get married. So I have people got married 22, 23, 24, 25. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen this year. And all of them were widowed people marrying widowed people. And they all had to go through pictures and how much pictures on the wall and what do you do with the ashes and the clothes and this stuff. And I coached them all the way through that. So there's all that. I know there's all that. So I'm here for you. Send me emails, comment through the group because it can't be more normal to have all these feelings. Don't deny any of them. You just don't want them to hold you back from finding love again. Because the thing that I know is every day there's people that don't have the gift of waking up. And we did. So our job, as Dr. Laura Schlesinger says, between now and we don't wake up, how do you want to live your life? And I want to fall in love again. And I have one client that when people say I'm too old, I love telling them Joan's story because Joan came to me when she was 82 and she'd been married a long time twice and been widowed twice and said, I don't know what I'm doing at all. And I really need your help. And I said, great, but I have to ask. The odds are this could happen again. I just have to understand why. And she goes, I have all this love to give and receive, and I do not want to not have that for the rest of my life. And she's now been happily married for 2 years, and she's 86. So anybody that tells me they're too old, I tell them Joan's story because she said, I'm doing this again. So there's somebody for everybody, guaranteed. You just need to keep putting yourself out there. The more clear you are about who you are and what you're looking for, the faster they come. I have no guarantee about how fast or slow, but I want to make the journey enjoyable. That's my job. I wanted to help you be out there in a better place, in a better attitude, that your life is still feeling good enough. Not as good as when somebody's there. There's no substitute for that. But there's so many other things to fill yourself up with too. Family, friends, activities, ways that you feel like I'm a rabid volunteer, and I have never volunteered for something that whatever I gave out, I felt like I got 4 times back. As human beings, that's a need that we have, and we don't have our person that we had that cyclical thing with. So until you've got another person, please give back to other people with your company and your time and your interesting conversations and your interesting questions that you will ask them while you're looking for your next person. But it can't be just that you're looking for your next person because we all can smell desperate, and that's not very attractive. So if you want to meet interesting people, you have to be an interesting and interested person. That's your goal. So even when you're really new and you're grieving, go get on soaringspirits.org and go to a widow dinner. You'll still have company once a month with loving, caring, understanding, supportive people if that's all you do. But they'll go do fun stuff with you if you like, just to get you out. Oh, another advice I have is if you do go to something like a meetup or take, ask at least two other people that are there, what other things do you belong to? What other things do you do in your time? Because you're going to learn about stuff that you would never do. I've certain about stuff I'd never do, but there's stuff I never even knew that was there. Can I come with you? I want to go do that I never would have found on my own. So use them as archaeological digs. I want to go do some fact finding out there. And it also gives you something to talk about, especially the most introverted people. Because if you ask somebody about themselves, even another introvert, they'll talk about themselves and they'll share all sorts of interesting stuff that you're like, I'm really glad I'm not part of that, or I want to be part of that, or that was just interesting. Yeah, I've learned more. And the one thing people have asked me, have I ever matched people up? Never once in my life. I have so many friends that do that. They just meet people and they know they're the right people for each other. It's never been my gift. But I will tell you, because I talk to so many people personally and professionally, I'm constantly, I just heard somebody that did that and you need that. So I'm constantly putting business people together all the time, effortlessly without even giving it a thought. It's so weird. But you think in the business I was in, I would be matching people up for love, but I just teach you to do it better. You're all really good at it. You just don't know. You need some lessons. Anything you got better at, it's because you learned how to do it better. And so I'm here to teach you how to do this part of your journey better, because you all deserve to love and be loved again, because you were really good husbands. There's women out there that would just really like a lovely husband. There's some really crappy women out there, like there's crappy men, but you can spot them in a heartbeat if you pay attention. Most of us are just trying to find love again, and we just need to find who's the person that would love that I bring a lot of stuff everywhere I go and I want every door opened. Yeah, yeah. So I'm happy to answer more questions. Thank you, Herb. I love my job. I love my job. And the people say there's nothing. I found my husband dead on the floor 2 months after our 5th-year anniversary. He participated in a clinical trial and they killed him. And I had to do a medical malpractice suit, which I won in the first 2 years of grieving. It was horrible and horrible and awful. Horrible and awful. And I am the kind of person that I have to find the other side of the coin. There has to be something beneficial. There always has. I've lived this way my whole life. And when widow people showed up, I went, this is it. This is the gift I got from him dying. Because you don't understand till you understand. I had coached divorced people because I'd been divorced. But widow people didn't come to me because I would not have understood. My friends who had lost a husband, I'd have a couple young friends, and I thought I was really sympathetic. You don't know. You don't know. And we're glad they don't join this club because it's a hard club. But when widow people started trusting me to help them, I went, that was my gift from Tony. So I love my job. If I can help people find love again and enjoy the journey, because that's the part you don't know how to do. You don't know how to enjoy it. And the ones that are in relationships, I think God had a sense of humor, and he sits up there watching popcorn or eating popcorn because he goes, you know, you love us madly. You love how we smell and how we taste, and you love so much about us, and we make you crazy. So my job is to help us not make you so crazy, because I tell you, this is why we do that. And this is how to look at it differently. This is how to talk to us differently. You can lower the stress so much better, because your natural instinct is to do the thing that makes us more tense. And our natural instinct is to do the thing that makes you more tense. So if I can have people stop doing their natural instinct and change it just a little, it's so much better. And if we had time, I would teach you that, because if you have women, any old woman in your life, like a daughter or a sister or a neighbor, I could tell you how to have them not get so pissed off and go, you're not listening. You don't care. Because we say that when you're trying to help us with our problems. But I can teach you how to not do that effortlessly if we had time. Because I know we have a limit with this. But you want me to teach that? I would be happy to teach it. It's up to Chris, right? He's the gatekeeper.
Yeah, well, this is Chris, and I'm sorry we really got off to a rocky start, and it's all on me. I'm sorry, Christine, you didn't have the link, and I know Herb's mic didn't work, and somehow we still have you here. And I had a conflict. I had to step away and then step back. And thank God you're still here talking, because I've been listening now for the last half hour, and it's just 37 minutes. And it's like fantastic as always. And just want to thank you, Christine. I do know there's a couple of extra questions out there. The guys were really talkative tonight. I love seeing all of that. And I think we need to use the chat more when we do this, because you're certainly using it tonight. And a lot of guys are asking a lot of great questions. And this could probably go on for another hour easily. But I know quite a while ago, Mike Davis asked a question. He's our square dancer. I don't know if you saw that one. We kind of jumped right in. And then Al just asked a great question as well. And these are just really get to the root of, can you see the chat, Christine, or no?
Yes, but I'd have to stop. I have to stop and read. So if you read it to me, it would be so much better. Can
Okay,
you
well, I mean,
read it to me?
if you guys want to hang on a little bit more, because we probably got a little bit of a late start because of me and
If I've
Christine
got time. I'm happy to
getting
see.
on right away. But he says, Mike says, my wife passed in July 2025, and I've done a lot of work on healing, integrating my grief. I am starting to date a widow who I often square dance with. He'd shared this with us before. She's a 2+ year widow. We did a trial date in November so that I could see if there was any guilt or other issues. There were none. So over the last few months, however, feelings have started developing. We have a second date coming up, and all of a sudden, grief emotions have started to come up again, which I have been working on again. Is that is that a normal as part of moving back into dating or reopening our emotions?
Yes.
I think he speaks a lot for a lot of folks.
Yes. Oh my goodness. We're never done. We're never going to be done grieving. My my husband died in 2012. I can't tell you how much I've cried looking for this stupid car. We always will be grieving. Always, always, always. It's whether or not we don't, how little, it gets in the beginning, it's all the time. And what I tell people, those are really sharp edges. And over time, the edges get less sharp. They will always be there because you love them a lot, and you will, as I said, seal them in your heart. You'll always love them. So normal, be kind and gentle to yourself on the times when you're feeling sensitive and caring and missing, and be clear about what you're grieving. Is there somebody you could call? My husband had two very close friends that we still, after all these years, talk every couple of weeks and have all these great Tony stories. Is there somebody that you would like to talk to when you're having that sensitive time? Is there something you need to go do by yourself? Is there something that you need to do to honor them? And then you will move forward. We never move on. Non-widowed people keep saying, when are you going to move on? Because there's no room for me. Well, that's not the truth. You will never move on from loving them. You will just move forward as the edges get softer. So just know, normal, normal, normal. What you want to have it do is not affect your daily life. If it's affecting your daily life, then there's grief groups and therapy, and that's really an important step. And the other thing I know, because I'm a big proponent of us doing our personal work. You heal and when I figured out when 2001 and I had all this stuff that I didn't know I had like a U-Haul truck follow me around of all my baggage. So I did a lot of personal work to get it down to the size of a suitcase that you put in an overhead bin of an airplane. Now, my overhead bin suitcase weighs 43 pounds because I take my laptop with me. So I got stuff that I'll never be gone, like how much stuff I bring. And I like every door open. And so you'd say, here's my stuff that I'm always going to have that makes me who I am. I think I'm charming and funny and interesting. And people that don't think that don't get to spend much time in my life, because I'm really clear about that now that I'm older. So then you unpack a little bit at a time and you show the other person and you say, what do you think? Do you think I'm interesting and charming, or you want to run for the hills? So after you've done your personal work, then when you've now formed this third thing, not this, because that's codependent, this is independent, this is interdependent, that you're now going to allow another person to maybe have access to your emotions are going to come up. It's really normal. And you can't do that. You can't do this until you do this. So when new things come up, you go, oh, there's the new thing. This is normal. And what are we going to do about this? What am I going to personally do about it? What is she going to do personally about it? What are we going to do about it together? You had lots of this stuff happen in your marriage. Relationships bring up relationship stuff that we can't have access to when we're not in a relationship. So just go, oh, there's that normal thing. And when we talk, I talk with my clients, yep, that's a normal thing. Now, what do you do with this normal thing? How do you make it so that it's not going to affect you negatively all the time?
Can I make
That,
a comment? Can I make a comment that might be helpful?
sure.
It's been 18 months for me. In the early days, I read Herb's books and I read a couple of other books and all kinds of YouTube videos and so on. And today I feel like I'm well down the path and doing what I need to do, live my life, starting dating, but I still talk to my wife every day and I still look at her picture every day, but it doesn't stop me from tennis and doing what I need to do and dating, and that's okay. I've determined that's okay. So
I talk to my husband all these years later all the time. I'm having a not a very nice conversation about the car part, but I do have nice conversations with him too. Normal. Think of all the years you spent talking to each other. I think it's the most normal thing in the world. I told him when this is a condo I owned. I rented it out and moved to the beach. How nice was that when I got married? But then I moved back here and I said, you better be moving with me. You better be coming with me. I don't want to be without you. So normal, 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 normal. A lot of what my clients want to hear is, are they doing stuff that's normal? And if there's something that they need to work on, I will absolutely tell you that all is very normal. And the second year is when you start making those adjustments. Because the first year, at least for sudden, I was in such shock. And the second year is like, oh, really? He's not coming back. For long illnesses, I found that the second year is different than for people that are sudden. And it just gets less hard. That's the best news I can tell anybody, especially when it's kind of new because it feels really hard. It gets less hard. It's never not there, but it gets way less hard. And there's some things that actually do get better, especially when you fall in love again. It's just there's hard parts. And it's even nicer if you can have support people in your life and eventually have another love, because the manufacturer person made us so we like being connected with somebody else. We like giving our heart. We like being loved back. It's just keep yourself sane and upright while you're getting there. And then when you're in a relationship, just know stuff's going to come up and let me know, and I'm happy to talk you through it. Yeah,
Christine,
really normal.
that that's a great answer. Al has one that I want you to address, and then maybe we can wrap up. He
Okay.
says, and this is it goes right back to the very beginning, right? That taking that first step we talked about. How do you know? He says, how do I know when I'm ready to start looking at beginning a new relationship with someone? I've done a lot of grief work already, but what am I looking for within myself that tells me it's not too soon, right, to start dating?
So my best advice for that for all of you and Al, go join something that has male and female people there and see how it feels. Putting yourself in front of a stranger on a date is a lot to ask of yourself right away. Anything you're learning, you start out with little tiny steps like that Mother May I game. And if you go, well, that wasn't so bad, I could do another thing a little bigger. Or no, I'm comfortable doing this for right now. I'm going to stay here and get more acclimated to this, and this will build up that muscle. Think of it as a muscle that's never been exercised before. You haven't ever done this ever because you're at chronological age, you lost your spouse, you're working through your grief. You've never been this person. So this is a new thing to practice. So go join something and see how it feels, which is why you have to like the thing because it's going to be uncomfortable. So like the thing you're doing, whatever the thing is, like that, you'll have that container of at least I like throwing pots, or I like axe throwing, or I like going to this kind of a lecture and I'm going to go every time and I'll get to see the same people and maybe I'll talk to some of them the second time or the third time. I'm just going to go, and how did it feel? Oh, I felt okay. Well, now I could talk to people. It's all baby steps, learning curve. Never give yourself a hard time about any of it because you don't know till you get there how you're going to do talking to a bunch of strangers because you were used to talking to one beautiful female face for a really long time. No matter how many other people came into your life, you had this constant. So this is very altered for you. So being very gentle, super duper gentle. And you go with a group of people that are doing something you already know you like or you really want to learn. That's your whole focus for being there. This thing. Then talk to a couple people and go, yeah, that was really weird, but I could do it again. Or it was easier than I thought. So do it for a while till you go, yeah, I'm enjoying talking to new women and I'm finding comfortable about it. And wow, they're enjoying, they're seeking me out and wanting to talk to me. And maybe they're not my person, but I'm this is the comfortable. You see how the comfortable can happen. Even if they're not your person, which sometimes can make it easier, you're starting to settle in. And then you'll know. Then you'll know. But what happens often, I've certainly heard it, not with people I was coaching, but then they come to me. I got on a dating site and I went out with a person and I started really liking him and I discovered wasn't right. It's too early. I really wasn't ready. Kind of unfair to do it that way, I think. You wouldn't like somebody to do that with you. It seems logical, but the other person starts caring about you and you go, yeah, I can't. So practice first with a bunch of strangers, but a bunch. So you're not having to concentrate on one person doing one thing about whether or not you want to have breakfast over the table with them forever. Low risk to your heart, low risk to your emotions. So that when you leave the thing, this is your goal. When you go to this thing that you knew you were going to like, and you get something out of it, you went to this thing, you're going to, no matter what else happens, you're going to feel successful when you leave. Because who wants to go back if it doesn't feel successful? And if you think you're going to meet the love of your life, the odds are, when I met my husband for lunch that first time, I had no idea he was going to be a husband. But I had started dating this way. Zero emotional investment. Yes, I wanted to see him again. 1. The next time I wanted to see him again, 2 emotional investment. So I learned to do this. It worked for me, and now it's worked for 16 and a half years for my clients. So is that helpful, Al? Was that helpful advice?
Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
It's such a common question, and I'm so impressed that you ask it before you go out there and do it the other way. Because nobody knows how to do it besides I need to make a date, and then I see if I like them, and now they like me, and I'm now my heart isn't ready. It's not open. Go find that in a group.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
You're so welcome. I love being asked questions that are before the fact. Because then, you guys are so honorable. You don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, even though it really happened that you weren't ready and you didn't know. You don't know till you try. And then you feel bad, but you can't go with them, but you still feel bad. Let's avoid all that. There's other things that you can't avoid. Oh, well, this you can avoid. Yeah, yeah. I know how to avoid all that stuff because I did it. And everybody, well, I didn't do that, but I've certainly known a lot of people that did that. But yeah, it's an unknown territory. Whatever you all do in your life or living, or I have no idea how to do it, and you're way better than me, even if you taught me. I know how to do this. So I'm so grateful that you invite me to give you this direction, some roadmaps, some fine tuning, so you can go out there and be your best self. Because you all know how to do that. You just don't know how to do it in this arena.
Yeah.
And I want you all to find love again.
Christine, that's fantastic. I'm reminded of Hill Street Blues when the sergeant was saying, now, be careful out there, right? It's tough. And I think guys are really hard on themselves, expect too much. And you provide such great insight. And I hope folks are working with you. That's certainly an option. I hope they take advantage of the free consult and work with you one-on-one. But it's just always a pleasure to have you here and to hear what you have to say. I just feel it makes such a difference. wherever you are in your journey, the insight that you bring to us. So thank you for that. Guys, thank you. We will be sharing this recording as well. And hopefully, God willing, we'll have Christine back next month with us. I haven't asked her if she's coming back next month, but I see a resounding head shake. So we'll get that out on the calendar. Again, sorry for the snafu getting us off the ground earlier today. I'll try to make it a smooth landing for you here. So again, Christine, thank you so much. And we'll just say, everyone, take care of yourselves. Don't go through this alone. That's what we're here for. And thanks for being WSN Men members and being here for this. So with that, I wish you a good night. Thanks, everyone.